my age, yeah. Welcome aboard. This is Math 21 in the AM. Coming at you live. On page 17, and we're looking through the credit card thing. I'll just pause this and get your question, Justin. In this section. Okay. Reading a credit card statement. Jonah and Lucius, I'll concentrate on you guys. There's a lot of information here. Now, the Piggy Bank USA, picture of hold on. Anyways, credit card statement provides the following information. Statement and due date. Nowadays, by the way, oh, thank you. Thank you. Nowadays, I don't usually get a paper statement. You can print them out if you want, but it's all done on your phone and stuff like this. You can look up this same statement. I could bring up my Visa statement. So it's still there. But the thing is, if you don't have it on paper, people don't tend to check this stuff as often as they should. I'm guilty too. When it was paper, I just somehow did it more often. Interest rates, balances, credit line available, minimum payments, and the time to repay if you only make minimum payments, which is surprisingly forever. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay. So the big thing, and we'll just through the questions and come back to this. Here's the way they have their accounts summary. You see total credit. This person could take out $5,000. They've already used up some of that, so they only have about $24.85 left. Now, let's go back and forth. Let's talk about these questions on the next. What's the balance on the statement? Pardon me. I think it's about $2,500. So let's take a look and see exactly. Balance on. Typically, the balance is at the bottom. It is. So I'm going to go with this. The balance is, to answer that first question, you owe $2,534.20. That's your balance owing. Then I think the second one, I remember that, it's the minimum payment. Well, question two, what's the minimum payment? You can pay and probably should pay if you have $2,534, pay that. But if you don't, you've got to ride it out for a little while. Oh, this is how you got trouble in the first place. You made your minimum payment the month before, $50, and that didn't chip away too much of it. Plus, you made some other purchases, so it only went up. So the current payment due is there at the bottom. Now this screen is fuzzy, but it's $50 is the minimum payment. That's question two. Let's see. When is that payment due? Hey, buddy. So we're on page 17 of your section, join in. When is that payment due? We're recording. Take a look at here and see. The due date is right there. And that's May 25th, 05/21, year 8. Okay. I've already forgotten what the next question is. So take a look at it. Annual interest rate. Now, it says somewhere on here how much the interest rate is. I think this one was a low one. There it is. It has a 15.99% interest rate on purchase. If you take cash out, it's almost 22%. But 15.99 is the annual interest rate. From here. Use the 15.99 because that is the middle one. That's the purchase. That's why 15.99. And then the next question I memorized was there a balance owing from the month before? If so, how much? Yes, there was. I'd already read. Previous balance. I'll look at my pay. Oh, 2,260. But you paid off $50 on that 60. So you're carrying over $2,210. That's the answer. 2210. 2,210. On to your next month. Plus you make 300 more in transaction. And you really didn't get too far ahead because you got a financing charge or interest and stuff like this. $34.20. Out of that $50, 34 of those bucks is just covering your interest. You're not really getting that far ahead on it. Eh? Only getting about $15 onto your debt. You're not going to take. Yeah, you're not going to get out of debt too fast. What's the credit limit? I already noticed that one. That was $5,000. Used up about half of it. Okay. What else does it say? That doesn't tell you anything about if you make only the minimum payments, how much, how long it'll take. It'll take you a long time. It doesn't say how much. Does that help you with this, Jonah? So you got through all those questions. Credit cards carefully. Essentially, don't buy anything unless you can pay it off the next month. Don't go crazy into debt. Credit card limit of 500 is actually a good idea. You can't get yourself into too much trouble if you're locked in for years. You have a credit card with a limit of 500 bucks. Calculate the minimum monthly payment. Now, we got to look back on here. What's the percentage? I think it was 0.3, 3%. I'm just trying to remember. I got to pause this and take a look back and read here what they used for this. Pretty sure we're using 3%. Yes, it is 3%. So on each of these, 3%, 3 out of 100 is decimal 0.3. So all you're going to do on these, you're going to take the number times 3%. So I'm going to go 0.03 times. When I do that, I'll bring up the calculator actually. 450 times 0.03. $13.51. The minimum payment. That's how you do this. And there's a thing though. Your minimum payment can't be less than $10. So if your amount owing is $9.95, that's what you owe. You don't even have to calculate. That is just $9.95. Can't pay 3% for that. So small. And in that case of the $49 and stuff, when you multiply by 3%, you're going to get a number smaller than $10. You just bump it up to $10. It comes out to be $8.21 or something. Call it $10. Okay. Now these are again, question 2. These are 3%. Onto your balances, calculate the minimum monthly. Credit card with a limit of $750, minimum monthly payment. Same rules apply. If it's less than $10, you go with $10. That lets you go through there. And then number 4, I'll mention this one. Suppose that Dan made purchases shown in the statement below. The payment due date was the 2nd of June, but his payment wasn't received until June 24th, so he's quite a bit late. Find out the total amount of interest that would be charged. Daily interest rate is given as a decimal, 0.0005067. Include the purchase date and the payment date when counting the number of days. So you start on that purchase day. Use your fingers if you need to, or a calendar or something. So, if the purchase date was May 3rd, 0503, I'm going with the Broadway Cafe. And he finally pays it on June 24th. We got to do some figuring. Now, May is a day with only 31. Oh gosh, I got to think this through. Yeah, now it's 31 days, and it was purchased on the 3rd of May. And we're counting them. That's 29 days plus the 29 days in May plus June 24th. 29 plus 24 days. I'll show you something now. I'm thinking 29 plus 24. That's 53 days of interest. And we're going to use this. I equals P principal, the rate, and time. Now figure out this. I equals PRT. We've got a monthly interest rate. Or daily interest rate, I mean, with 0.0005067. You use the 53 days as your time. Your rate is the one with the 5067. And you multiply with 17.45. So what I'm saying is that you're going to go 1745 times the rate, 0.000506 times the 53 days. Oh, there's something not. Oh, no, that's right. 47 cents. That's not a lot. 0.47. Round it to 2 decimals because it's money. And we use proper rounding. That's 468. The 8 pushes up to 47. Now, here's what I was going to say. If you get confused on counting, use a calendar to look it up, like how many days were in May, how many days in June do you owe, stuff like this. Here's what you can do. Go to a website, a day counter. I'm going to just do this. Day count from date to add up the days. Date duration calendar, days in between dates. Now, you could have went like this. Month, 05, May, what was that, 3rd? Any old year will do. Let's go 23. Because there's no leap year in there. That's the only time it matters is if you're wondering about February 28th or 29th. It does depend. And then the payment was June 24th. Same year. I'll include the end dates. Calculate duration. Should come up to 53. Let's see if it does with this one. 53 days. So what I'm saying is if you're getting sick and tired of counting on the calendars or whatever, you could just use a website to do the day calculation. Either way works. Figure it out. I want you to know that you're being charged. If you miss that payment date, you don't get, if you hit the payment date of June 2nd, paid it off May 29th or 30th or something like this before June 2nd, you don't get any interest added. But by June 3rd, once they don't, they go all the way back to the purchase date with your interest rate, okay? So no breaks after that. That's important. Finish those up. Then take a look at the cash credit thing, student loans, mortgages, and so on. Compare these different types of loans. All involve interest. Take a look at these personal lines of credit, some opinion questions, credit ratings. Take a look at those things too. Purchasing with credit. Be careful when you purchase with credit. Look at some of the jobs that, how do you qualify for credit? Is it good or not? Then you're done. That's what you guys have left to do on this section. Finish it up. I'm going to just stop the recording.